So let me tell you a very simple principle to start creating videos. It's called the 5-second rule. Mel Robbins came up with this concept called the 5-second rule. Our brain is designed to keep us alive. It only knows how to do that if it has evidence. So why are we scared of creating videos, being public speaking, talking to someone we like, especially when they're not with us, etc., asking out a date, etc.? Because we don't have evidence to know that we don't die. From a simple tribal point of view, that's what your brain's doing. It's going, this thing, I don't know if it doesn't kill me. Because if we go back to tribal times, going into a wood could kill you. Doing something outside of your comfort zone could mean you got eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. Or murdered by another tribe. Or, in this case perhaps, killed by Casper. I don't think Casper would do it, but anyway. So how did Mel Robbins help her clients get to the point where they could do anything? It's very simple. Do it within 5 seconds. As in, I'm going to create a video, press, right, I'm recording the video. Because what happens is, your brain doesn't have the chance for its survivalistic instinct to kick in. And go, why are we doing this? This is a bad idea. It doesn't have the chance. Because you're just acting. If you want to jump in a cold shower, you want to have a cold shower, or you happen to be having a cold shower, don't sit there and go, I'm going to have a cold shower. Because then your brain's going to go, but it's going to be cold, it's going to be uncomfortable, I'm not going to like it, I'm going to hyperventilate. Just go into the shower. Now, it's not going to stop the shock that happens, and that's a different conversation, right? So with the cold shower example, getting you in the shower will work in under 5 seconds. That's why podcasting is so powerful. Because you're in the position where you're not thinking about creating content. The reason why I love doing these is I don't think about creating content, but I'm creating content. Some of the best content I come up with is just when I'm trying to add value.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sitting here going, what can I say that would be good for Instagram? It might be really bad for Instagram. I have no idea. I have no idea. But I'm focused on, it's just a focus point. That's what I'm saying, where focus is really important. Creating pillars of content where you can be in the position where you're just having a natural conversation. If you can edit that so you take out a certain chunk, that might be the perfect answer that one person needs at the time to buy from you. And they may go, that's the only hurdle I had. Can I have some life insurance, please? Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but if you don't create habits within your life and this is another part of creating content that I haven't even discussed yet. What we're talking about here is creating content. The other part of doing content is documenting it. What I'm doing here is documenting it. I'm focused on adding value to you. I'm not thinking about what do I say to the camera. It's just by proxy that we're filming it. Because I know it's probably going to be quite likely that I come across certain sections. I can already tell you the bit where I'm going creator or consumer here is probably going to do quite well. Because it's very visual and it's me dancing backwards and forwards and I'm giving you a very visual difference. And that's why I moved. Because did you notice earlier when I was talking about creators I was stood here, and when I was talking about consumer I took here? Because you're naturally going to say, okay, well consuming's here, creating's there. And that's what I mean about creating visual difference sometimes. But that's when you're starting to optimize what you're doing. The stage you guys are at is, let's get started. So that's a great segue to, let's get started. I will. I mean, I was kind of enjoying, I was enjoying how cool it was, but it's fine. We'll go back to boiling and it being really good and crispy for the audio. I'll do it for the content, it's fine. Have I pressed it right? Have I done it right?
No, it's a bit funny. Someone's like, do you want to call it up?
No Wi-Fi, aircon, can't
I know.
Sometimes I think I've switched it off and I go to leave and I'm like, it's not working.
I just think it's Casper pressing the button.
Yeah, probably.
Can you get electricity? You have to pay for electricity in there.
In addition,
I was just going to say, because you're
fair enough.
internet, they can't find the...
You could totally do
Just
that.
leave it
You
on.
use it for space.
They'll go, it's really, the electricity lights up. Well, if you've got some Wi-Fi, maybe I can just...
So, in the pages in front of you, you have your script. But that's not what it is. It's a guidance for the video you're about to create. Now, what everyone just did in their head, and some people did in person, was, oh shit. Right? Whether you agree that with me or not, doesn't matter. That's what you did. So let me tell you a very simple principle to start creating videos. It's called the 5-second rule. Mel Robbins came up with this concept called the 5-second rule. Our brain is designed to keep us alive. Okay? It only knows how to do that if it has evidence. Right? So why are we scared of creating videos, being public speaking, talking to someone we like, especially when they're not with us, etc., asking out a date, etc.? Because we don't have evidence to know that we don't die. From a simple tribal point of view, that's what your brain's doing. It's going, this thing, I don't know if it doesn't kill me. Because if we go back to tribal times, going into a wood could kill you, right? Doing something outside of your comfort zone could mean you got eaten by a saber-toothed tiger or murdered by another tribe. Or, in this case perhaps, killed by Casper. I don't think Casper would do it, but anyway. So how did Mel Robbins help her clients get to the point where they could do anything? It's very simple. Do it within 5 seconds. As in, I'm going to create a video, press, right, I'm recording the video. Because what happens is, your brain doesn't have the chance for its survivalistic instinct to kick in. And go, why are we doing this? This is a bad idea. It doesn't have a chance. Because you're just acting. Right? If you want to jump in a cold shower, you want to have a cold shower, or you happen to be having a cold shower, don't sit there and go, I'm going to have a cold shower. Because then your brain's going to go, but it's going to be cold, it's going to be uncomfortable, I'm not going to like it, I'm going to hyperventilate. Just go into the shower.
That doesn't work. I did it the other day. I had a power cut and I was like, I need to shower, I've got to go in the shower. And I just went in there and I nearly died.
Now, it's not going to stop the shock that happens, and that's a different conversation, right? So with the cold shower example, getting you in the shower will work in under 5 seconds. You're in the shower. Then you have to control your breath.
Why didn't you do that?
Because what happens when we have really cold showers is we go,
Yeah.
right? What you should and the same happens when we're nervous, the same happens when we're concerned, the same happens when, we get butterflies. The physiological response to being excited and nervous are identical, right? What actually happens to your body is the same, right? So there's 2 ways to fix this. Number 1, whenever you feel nervous, just think you're excited, because your body's not going to be able to tell the difference, because it's literally not. The physiological response is the same, right? Having butterflies, sweaty palms, etc.
It is, I can recommend a book of Dare for that.
Right?
Yeah.
But also, I've been teaching clients recently the pause technique when it comes to delivering. The issue with some starting videos, and you've all probably consumed it and had it, is you go, right? The way to get around that is really simple. When you deliver a point, breathe in, then deliver your next point. The reason why you fill the gap is because you're nervous and concerned and you're not confident enough to go, I don't care if there's a silence. One of the most powerful techniques I learned when speaking was, you don't need to speak like this and you don't need to speak really, really fast. You don't have to deliver at the same speed, tone, and it actually doesn't matter if you stop. The only issue with stopping is if your mind and you go, shit, what am I going to say next? Shit, these people think I'm crap. Shit, what if I get it wrong? Key one on that end one, who knows if you got it wrong? You don't know what I'm going to say next. How do you know it's not wrong? How do you know it's right? I don't even know what I'm going to say next. So it can't be wrong or right. And that's why I said to you earlier, it can't be wrong. The only reason why it's wrong is because you've told yourself it's wrong. No. I said to the ladies before we started, this workshop will probably be quite different to the first one. That's why I think it's valuable doing it over and over and over again. The fundamentals and how I planned it is the same. What I go into detail on, how I articulate it, very different. Because I'm not scripting it and I'm not worrying about, is it wrong? All I'm focusing on is, okay, this is the concern, this is the problem. How would I tackle that if I was helping a client? Or if I was trying to do it myself? So, what I want you to do now is the scary bit, right? Within 5 seconds, pick up your phone, open your phone, and start recording a video. If you'd feel more comfortable, you can use outside, but it is going to introduce a very different conversation because of lighting differences, which is going to make the job harder. If you want to do that, feel free. But the goal of doing this is to just get into the habit of starting to create. Don't worry about what you wrote down yet. Don't worry about any of that. All you're going to do, pick up your phone, tell it something. Start talking. Say about your cats, your dogs, your day, your breakfast, your dinner, what you're planning to do when you get home tonight, what you've got going on next week, what you're really excited about, what you're worried about, what you're concerned about. It might be the video that you create. The point of this is to get you into the habit of doing it. But you have to do it within 5 seconds of making the decision. Because if you don't, your survivalistic brain will kick in and go, this is a bad idea.
Mine's saying that already.
Because you've waited longer than 5 seconds. Just act.
Because I find it more nerve-wracking with people here than I do.
Even though we're all talking.
Feel free to go see Casper if you wish.
Yeah.
JFDI. Just do it. Are we not going to do this together when we do it? I think we can practice.
I think what you should do is both create separate videos around the same topic, and then what we'll do is we'll review them as consumers.
Yeah, which one's better?
Yeah, no, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. So both create different videos, because then what you can do is you can actually cross-reference and say, actually, I like what you did here. I like what you didn't do here.
Oh my god, I don't know how you guys are reviewing it. It's not about that yet. We just got to do any kind of.
It's just starting, talking about the day, talking about your dog, talk about your family, talk about what you're doing at the weekend.
I want to do my question.
If it's easier, do the question.
Out here.
I'll do my question, I might answer.
Right.
The point is to start doing it.
Yeah.
If it's easier to talk about the question, then talk about the question. If it's easier talking about what you did at the weekend, talk about what you did at the weekend. This week, this month, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Been one of those weeks this week.
I've had some medical problems. Can I get cover? Well, the simple answer is yes, of course you can get cover. Medical insurance will cover just about anybody. So give me a shout. I don't know.
That wasn't hard, was it?
No.
That was really good. That was excellent.
Right, and the key point about doing this in a group, as why Galen didn't want to do it in here, is because what's going to happen in your own head is you're going to go, what, everyone else is going to judge me. The thing you need to remember here right now is this is a safe space to not be judged on how bad this video is.
Oh, my level of narcissism is fine with this. I think they're all judging me, and I'm amazing.
So literally just get over the hurdle of doing it. But literally just do it. No, again, you're thinking, just do it.
I did do it last time, and this time.
Okay,
It's because Galen ran away.
Nikki,
Yeah.
breathe in, breathe out, then do it.
No, I can't. Not
I won't even look at
really
you.
watching.
I won't even look at you. I'll turn my back.
Just do their own thing. Everybody just do their own thing. Because I don't have anything to say and I can't think of any words.
What's your favourite activity to do?
Watching Formula 1.
There you go, talk about Formula 1.
I'm pretty sure she can do that very well.
Talk about Formula 1. And talk about Formula 1 as if you're telling a friend.
Have you done it?
Oh, do we all get to watch it now?
In a minute. So talk about Formula 1 for a minute.
Okay, but it's doing it in a quiet room where everyone's like just.
I'll tell you what, we'll do a game. Everyone who still needs to create a video, get ready. I'm going to count you in, all do it at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how the hell are you doing? You are having a great day. Positive thinking. That's what it's all
Am
about.
I going to die? And the answer is no. Actually, it's normal to feel a bit of tension straight after an adjustment, but it feels amazing when you get yourself adjusted to come on.
Me?
No, him. Oh, it's
That's why I
really
went out.
hard.
That's why I went out. Because I'm a multitasker, so if I started recording a video and talk, I'm actually more interested in listening to what they're saying. So then I freeze and I'm like, oh, that's why I just went out and just did it.
Yeah. That's right.
So the reason why you do it in this scenario is this is a harder scenario to create a video than what you're actually going to do it in,
So I did this last time.
right?
As did I, but no one saw it last time. I think that might be the disturbing news that has stopped me in my tracks this time.
So for those who didn't do your question, in a minute you need to do your question,
Yeah.
right? And if you did do your question, watch back what you just did, and ask yourself, what 2 things can I do to make it better and more impactful for the audience? Not what you think's better. What do you think? We're talking about that emotional connection we want to have with our audience, right? So if you did create the video, how can you make that video more impactful for the audience you're talking to? Is it a word you've used? Is it how you talk? Is it how fast? Do you talk too fast?
I definitely do.
Do you pause and don't actually do the video?
Okay. I paused and didn't do the video. I have all the examples.
I've had some medical problems. Can I get cover? Well, the simple answer is yes, of course you can get cover. Medical insurance will cover just about anybody. So, give it a shout. Probably
You know what?
slightly less casual.
I tell you what, that would grab me more than something that was serious. I really like that.
The thing is, it's about creating something in your own personality. If you're naturally serious and you like, I'll give you an example.
I'm not. A
People say to
naturally
me,
serious
people say to me all the time, why do you swear in content? Because I swear naturally. Right? So if you don't like swearing, we're not going to get on anyway.
That's why we get on. I couldn't work out what it was.
Oh, there's no other reason, just because he swears. Anyway, it's about being authentic to you, right? So if swearing is authentic to me,
You relaxed more.
that's going to piss some people off. Fine, they're not my people anyway. That's cool. If you talk casually or with slang or with some rimum or etc., then do that normally. The mindset you should have when you create content is, I'm talking to my ideal client. They've just asked me this question. I'm facilitating the answer.
What's really annoying though is I feel like I could do that until I try to do that.
So the hurdle you have is you've got
You can do it if it wasn't the camera, you can do it if it was a
The
person.
idea seems makes perfect sense. Really.
so
Maybe I might
the
do that, and then I-
so the issue you're running into is you haven't done it enough,
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
right? Because you're still in that part of your brain where it instantly triggers the I'm going to die bit, right? You haven't done it enough to give your, because again, we're talking about evidence in your brain. The moment your brain understands, me doing this video doesn't result in me dying, right?
Yeah.
You won't feel the same way.
Other than of embarrassment.
Yeah, but that will also go as well, right? I'll give you an example. If you go back and watch my first talk from the year, you will tell that all it took was for me to do a few more. Because if you look at today and you look at then, you will see a drastic difference between the two. But the only way I knew for a fact, the only way I was going to get from here, where I was, don't know what I'm talking about, etc. And you guys might not think it's very bad. I look at it and go, right? So here is because I took step. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? Step. What can I do wrong? What did I do better? So on, so on. Till I got here. What am I going to do after this? One of the benefits of recording whatever you do is I can now sit back and analyze what I did. I go, okay, so to move here, what do I need to do? This is how you can aggressively get better at something, because you just force yourself. There's a level of just you have to force yourself to do it. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's awkward. Yes, you're going to giggle. Yes, you're going to be embarrassed. Fine. But embrace that. Make that part of the fun of doing it. Open the video, go, well, this is embarrassing, isn't it? But I think it's really important that you should know. Right? Make it part of the character. Right? Everyone has a persona when they talk to a certain set of people. Right? Whether you realize it or not, you do. The same is true when you create content. My content personality is just a energized version of me. Right? I'm already an energized, people who know me know I'm already energized already. But I just put it a little bit further up when I'm on content because that's my style of creating content. It's not about emulating my style, it's about finding your own. The only way you're going to find your own is through trial and error. In the same way, when I was going from here to here, I had to make a shit ton of mistakes to get to here. I didn't just suddenly go, done one talk, I'm fucking amazing. Right? Because I had to fall and trip and fall and trip and fall and trip. And I had to take the feedback on board. Some of which I took on board, some of which I didn't. And the reason behind that is because I went, if I turn into this person that this piece of feedback is going to turn me into, is that authentic? Some of it wasn't. So I went, okay, I'm going to disregard that. It's still valid feedback, but it's not the person I want to become. Right? But the bits I went, actually, that's a really good idea. Right? Oh, that's actually really cool. Right? Like, I haven't even opened up some of the ideas I've got from giving talks. Right? Right? Because they're still planned for next year and I haven't had the time or resources to do them yet. But some of the plans is hilarious. And they come from the skills I've learned from talking like this. And this is what I'm saying, it's a constant evolving cycle. But what happened, and the reason why confidence is so important, is the more you do it, the more confident you'll have when you do something base level again. Right? So if you're used to doing it on a video, when you have a conversation, you'll become so much more confident in your beam. Because you've just done something a lot harder. Right? If you're used to being interviewed, or you're talking on a stage, you're talking in front of people, the second you're talking one-on-one, well, that's easy. Because we just had a conversation with 50 people. Or in front of 20 people. So again, it's about building that progression path for you. And again, as we've talked about before, the higher you can perceive your value is perceived, because that's all it is, it's just perceived value, it's not even value, because down to each person will be down to the value you provide, is the monetary value you can attach to your service. What's the difference between someone who charges £100 to £10,000? You tell me. What's the difference?
Perceived value. Probably the experience, the exposure.
It's the confidence, actually.
Or is it the transformation that you believe that they're going to be able to give you? This is what I said. People will buy from emotion. They buy from an emotional attachment to the transition that you all provide people with. Every single person in this room provides a level of transition from point A to point B. Our A and B are going to be very different. We still provide a transition. Right? The larger or how easy that transition is comes down to then the perceived value that is added to that. The perceived value of a coffee shop, because they provide me a coffee, is low in comparison to how to make lots of money. Right? In the same way, if you're trying to create a video, and that's something you really want to do, in comparison to someone who doesn't, well, one has higher perceived value than the other, surely. Because the person who doesn't want to create video in the first place, and not a psychologically not confident enough, as in they just don't do it because it's not valuable for their business, too complicated. Financial advisors is a key example. The hoops a financial advisor would have to jump through to do video is just not worth their time. It's just not. It would be great, don't get me wrong, to work with financial advisors. Because, I'll be honest, they've got money. Right? And it's very easy to make them money with video. That's not the hard bit. The hard bit is making sure it's compliant. And that's the process that's going to take time, energy, and resources. And that's probably why most financial advisors' marketing is the most dry thing on the planet. Because they have, in the same in your industry, you'll know this specifically, you have to follow specific things. You have to make it very clear, you do this, you're probably going to lose your money. It's not the same in any other industry.
I put a paid advert out once and I had to put it through compliance. There was more disclaimer by double than there was of the advert. I was like, I can't put this out, this is ridiculous.
And this is where industry specific is challenging, but if you're in an industry where you can create video, and I still believe you can create video, you just have to be more careful with how you do it. And you have to go through a more approval process, which means, in most cases, you should probably just batch record a load of stuff so you can send a load of shit to approval and then create some more stuff. Because then you've got a cycle, right? So for you specifically, it's send a load of shit to approval, create a load more. By the time something's come back from approval, you've got stuff to post. Then you can send the stuff you just created while you're waiting on approvals to approve, and so on, right? And because then you can be so far ahead, it doesn't matter. Because then you can still be consistently posting, which is the point I made at the very beginning, which was be consistent. Once you've got this skill set, it's up to you how you use it. I'm not saying post every day. I'm saying post consistently on a schedule. That could be once a week, that could be once a month, that could be once a year. However, the more you post, the more chances that content is going to, one, go viral, or two, connect with the right person at the right time. The reason why my brand is perceived in the way it is because of how much content I have online. I have a huge archive of content that constantly talks to clients.
Where do you put your content? On YouTube, or do you put it on Facebook?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn.
But what I was getting at was, would you put it on say YouTube and then share that YouTube onto the other
No.
Or do you just do it separately on each thing?
So the reason why you don't want to share a specific YouTube video on LinkedIn, for example, is LinkedIn's going to bury that post, because what does LinkedIn not want you to do?
Leave their platform.
Right.
Well, they don't want you to leave the platform, but more importantly, they don't want someone to go from LinkedIn to YouTube, which is a competitor of LinkedIn from an attention advertising point of view.
Sure, okay.
So what they're going to do is, this is sending us off platform to a competitor, goodbye. So it's very simple. Take the same video, post it on LinkedIn as a video. There you go. It will then be fed to the algorithm. Same with Instagram, same with Facebook, same with TikTok, same with YouTube. Now, there's ways you should be, as I said at the beginning, this is where your media data, your copy, and your hashtags come in, because that's going to tell the platforms, hey, this is the audience I want you to give it to. If you're quite vague or you use quite loose terminology, it's just going to have to guess. And it's just going to have to send it out to a random audience that may or may not like the content. And all that's going to happen is it's not going to care, but your content is going to suffer because it's going to be sent to the people who aren't going to resonate with it. Which then by proxy isn't going to get watch time, likes, views, shares, which in turn means it's going to not go in high in the algorithm because the first audience is just going to go, right? So we're going to do the second practical exercises now. And it will quickly follow the third and the fourth. And there's a very specific reason why you sandwich it like that. Because it circumvents your brain getting in the way. So now, for those who haven't done the question, now is your time to do the question. For those who have done the question, now is the time to take some feedback that you've thought about and see either do it differently, try a different style, try something else, or just change a word. Then do this. Now, don't do anything and do the same thing again. Literally within a minute or within a second afterwards. So you finish one video, you do the next one. Then you watch both. And then you do the feedback process again, and then you do it one more time. Again, don't think about it, just do it. When you feel you're ready, just do it. If you want to go out the room, go out the room.
Everyone leaves the room. I am going to go stand and pull. It's just other people's faces and the distraction. Or something like that.
Are you going to hurt me when you crack my neck?
That's fine, so what's the answer? No, I'm not.
I've had some medical problems. Can I get cover? Yes, of course you can. Medical insurance will cover all sorts of people, even if they've had pre-existing medical conditions. Medical problems. Can I get cover? Yes, of course you can. Medical insurance will cover all sorts of people, even if they've had pre-existing medical conditions.
Be sure to talk to me.
Yeah.
But ensure.
Yes.
I mean, then you can start having fun with it, right?
Yeah. Office setting.
Do you promote people
think of what